The machines hummed like they were breathing for him. My son's face was pale, almost translucent under the ICU lights. The surgeon's voice still echoed in my head. His chances of recovery are minimal. My wife had stepped out to call family. She needed something to do. Just sat there, the weight of silence pressing against my ribs. When I picked up his jacket from the chair beside the bed, something slipped out. A sealed envelope, edges slightly worn, my name written in his handwriting. Dad. My pulse shifted. I tore it open, half expecting a note that said, "I love you," or "Sorry for the car." Instead, it said, "Dad, if you're seeing this, go to storage unit 142. You'll understand everything, everything." The word lingered like a threat. I looked at him, tubes in his arms, machines counting seconds he might not have left. He was 19, too young for secrets, too young to sound this deliberate. I folded the note back into the envelope, slipped it into my pocket, and sat down again. The hum of the ventilator sounded suddenly louder. Something about this wasn't an accident. The next morning, the hospital lights hadn't changed. They never do. It told my wife I needed air and left. Storage Unit 142 was 20 minutes away, industrial park, edge of town, the kind of place where people kept things they didn't want to remember. I unlocked the gate, punched in the code from the key tag I'd found attached to his car keys. The metal door rolled up with a screech that made my skin crawl. Inside, it wasn't what I expected. No junk, no clutter, just one thing. A small black duffel bag on a metal table and a stack of papers. The first page was a printout of a bank statement. My name. Deposits I didn't recognize. Tens of thousands. Dates going back 2 years. The next was a photo. My son standing beside a man in a black suit I didn't know. My son was smiling, but not like himself. More like he was trying to prove something. Underneath, a flash drive taped to a piece of paper with 3 words written in red ink. For when it's safe. I didn't feel fear. Not yet. Just cold clarity. The kind that comes when the truth starts to whisper. That night, I plugged the flash drive into my laptop in the hospital waiting room. The files were labeled by dates. Security footage, text transcripts, GPS data. He'd been tracking something, someone. One video showed a warehouse. Men exchanging envelopes. Boxes loaded into trucks marked as medical supplies. Another file had a list of names, including one I recognized immediately. Dr. H. Morgan, neurosurgery, City General, my son's surgeon. It didn't make sense until I played the audio file. His voice came through, shaky but determined. "Dad, if something happens to me, it wasn't an accident. They're laundering money through the hospital. Transplant donors that don't exist. Dr. Morgan's in on it. I have proof. But they found out I was tracing the transfers." Then silence. I looked up from the screen at the hallway leading to my son's room. The doctor's office was 3 doors down. The accident, the car, the impossible chance crash. The truth began to shape itself. When Dr. Morgan walked into the ICU that night, I was waiting. "Any updates?" I asked. He gave the same tired smile he always did. "We're doing everything we can." But his hands were shaking slightly, enough for me to notice. I watched his eyes drift to the folder on my lap, the one labeled 142. Heist's expression flickered. "That was enough. You knew," I said quietly. He didn't answer, just stared, calculating whether to deny or deflect. I didn't push. Didn't need to. I'd already sent the files anonymously to every major news outlet in the state. By morning, headlines spread faster than infection. Hospital fraud scandal. Surgeons linked to organ trafficking network. Dr. Morgan resigned within hours. Federal agents arrived before noon. My wife thought it was coincidence. I let her think that. 2 days later, my son opened his eyes. The nurses called it a miracle. I called it iteming. He didn't remember much or pretended not to. The look in his eyes when I showed him the envelope told me he knew exactly what he'd done. "You finished it, didn't you?" he whispered. I nodded once. "We did." I never told him about the drive copies, the offshore accounts I found in the files. I moved the money, donated half, the rest locked away under a name that no longer belonged to anyone. Dr. Morgan's name trended for weeks, then disappeared like all villains who finally meet daylight. It's been 6 months. My son walks again, slower, quieter. He doesn't talk about that night. I don't ask. The storage unit is empty now. Just dust and silence. Sometimes I drive past it. The number 142 still painted in black on the metal door. There's a strange peace in knowing the truth costs something, and Weboth paid it. The surgeon lost his life's work. My son lost his innocence. And me? I lost the illusion that any of this world is clean. When the truth calls, it doesn't whisper. It waits, patient, cold, and permanent.